Hello, lieutenants. It's Captain here. Something just occurred to me, and I'm not. I'll admit, I don't really pay attention anymore to economics because I've kind of given up on it. But I dabble. I keep my fingers on the pulse a little bit here and there. And something just dawned on me. Everyone says, why hasn't the U.S. collapsed? A lot of leftists say, the U.S. has collapsed? Yeah, you crazy war-mongering, right-winger kind of people. And it's like, yeah, it hasn't collapsed. And if you're even the slightly astute student of economics, you'll understand why. It's because the U.S. is the least sucky. And this least sucky status has bailed the United States out so many times before. It originally started with the fact that we were like pretty much the only industrialized economy post-World War II that existed, so the dollar became the reserve currency of the world. And it still remains so today. Now, despite many other countries' potential ability, and even their actual ability and performance to outperform the United States, they invariably fail because, and I can't even say this because the U.S. is pretty corrupt, but we're not as corrupt as other countries. China, despite its economic production, is way more freaking corrupt. In Russia, way more freaking corrupt. And so China's got some debt and bubble issues because, well, they're still somewhat of a state enterprise-owned state communist country, and so that throws off their economy. Let's not believe in free markets, oh no, because fucking Mao Zedong back whenever the fuck the limp dick said, don't listen to that shit reality. But even Russia, which is pretty still capitalist, but still horrendously corrupt, the ruble collapsed. And inevitably, what that means is like people still come to us. It's like being in America, but you reverse it. Instead of having nothing to choose from, fat land whales of women, imagine all the men were just fat, blubbery men. And the United States is like the guy who doesn't need a rascal or a walker to get by. Well, he's still a fat, lubbered piece of shit, but he can still walk on his own. He's still the hottest guy in the fucking planet. So all the money and all the attention, all the women come to, unfortunately, that piece of shit, even though 40, 50, 60 years ago, all the other countries were way hotter looking and in way better shape. So this excuses the United States because we're the least corrupt, we're the least shitty, we're the least fat, we're the least gross, we're the least corrupt, we're the least filth. I mean, we're still filth. We're still pathetic, degenerate pieces of shit, but we're the least. Because every other country sucks even worse than we do. This drives value to our currency, and unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, depends if you're Machiavellian or not, bails us out of a lot of problems, particularly our debt. A lot of people worry about the debt, as you should, and as do I. But there's a thought that came to me. Because of our least fucky suckiness, there's a concern that was really concerning me that no longer concerns me. It concerns me a lot less. It almost gives me a little bit of hope. And that is Gen X might actually be able to collect on its Social Security. I know everyone says Social Security won't be around. And mathematically they're right. But because of the manipulations between central banks and frankly that our people are, frankly, less corrupt than everybody else in every other fucking country. And the fact that we are the reserve currency of the world, we may actually be able to cachet in on our U.S. dollar currency. And essentially, I'm very much simplifying this a lot. We're going to make foreigners pay for Gen X Social Security, is what it boils down to. And it's almost like they don't have a choice. Because their leaders, their managers, their politicians are even worse than ours. It's not necessarily the politicians, but there's also an element of the people too. Like when I went to Europe, they're like, watch your backpack. Watch it. Like, why do I gotta fucking watch my backpack? Oh, that's right, because the people in Europe are less moral than fucking Americans. Because like when you come to fucking America, at least we don't have to worry about, someone's going to fucking, the stiff arm rob you, or not stiff arm rob. We don't have to worry about gypsies, or what the fuck is it? They call you pickpockets. That's what it is. We don't have to worry about it. something tells me we're a little bit higher moral caliber. Now, we got that higher moral caliber of society. Guess what? We get fucking dividends. And dividends means our currency actually fucking means something. I can't believe I'm fucking defending the dollar. Because we're not that good of people. We're such fuck-ups. But honestly, Gen X, I don't know about the millennials. I don't know how long this fucking game could go on. I guess it could go on as long as the rest of the planet can be less sucky or more sucky than the U.S. Then I guess this can continue on. But Gen X, you might actually collect a Social Security payment. I know it's crazy, but you might, because every other country is going to bail us out. Not because they want to lend us money, but because they're going to throw their money into the U.S. dollar because the rest of the world is fucking everybody else over even more. And it's so sad. I mean, I had this dream, 1940s, 1950s, like what America could really be. I mean, it's just fucking intangible what we could have become. But take what excuse me, take what you can get. We're the least sucky. We're not the greatest. We're the least sucky. I'll never give the United States that credibility that we're the greatest. We're the least sucky. And you know what? I'm like I said, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but that actually means that not the baby boomers. No, well, the baby boomers may collect Social Security, but I think Gen X might actually collect Social Security as well. So, I haven't really figured out how that's going to affect my financial advising. I haven't thought about it. It just dawned on me. I was watching a video about currency controls and reserves, and again, I don't want to bore the women. Just they don't get the VTs when I talk about economics, so I try to keep it simple. But yeah, you Gen Xers, there's a little bit of hope because we are less sucky than everybody else. Toodles.